rare find in the Middle East has piqued the interest of historians, archaeologists, and treasure hunters, the scrolls buried treasure. These wonderful documents, which were discovered in the middle of the 20th century close to the Dead Sea, are called the Dead Sea Scrolls. They are nearly 2,000 years old and provide a fascinating window into the cultural and religious life of that time. Their finding in the Qumran caves not only clarified early Jewish rituals, but also prompted fascinating discussions regarding the beginnings of Christianity and the background of the Bible. The importance of these scrolls, which include some of the earliest known copies of the Hebrew Bible, will be explored as we delve into this fascinating topic. An extra element of intrigue to their narrative is the secrecy surrounding their making, storage, and ultimate concealment. Do these antique writings have any hidden wisdom? To what end were they buried for generations until the age of modern exploration led to their rediscovery? The mystery of the Dead Sea Scrolls awaits you as we take you on a trip through time. We'll learn about the people who found them, the researchers who devoted their lives to understanding them, and the passionate arguments that surround them even now. Immerse yourself in a captivating realm of intrigue and excitement. It was at the archaeological site of Qumran, close to the Dead Sea's northwest shore, that the Dead Sea Scrolls were found. Seen as a key location for understanding the social and religious climate of Second Temple era Judea, this site is said to have been occupied by a Jewish group called the Essenes. Since the Essenes were noted for their tight community lifestyle and commitment to religious purity, the scrolls provide a crucial connection to comprehending their practices and beliefs. Between 150 BCE and 70 CE, when the scrolls were created, there was a great deal of social and political turmoil. The Romans ruled ancient Judea, and there were many Jewish groups that were at odds with one another. Because they sought solace in their writings, the Essenes probably preserved them in the face of this volatile and changing world. The first cave containing the scrolls was found in 1947 by Muhammad Dib, a Bedouin shepherd who was looking for a lost goat. He became so interested in the area that he began a string of excavations that would bring together archaeologists and academics from all over the world. The pursuit of knowledge about the origins of contemporary faiths was one of their many goals, while the discovery of old religious texts was another. Even now, we find fascinating the way in which history, faith, and discovery have come together. Many people, not only academics, were fascinated by the Dead Sea Scrolls after their discovery. The discovery of ancient manuscripts, commentaries, and sectarian works, as well as biblical text, was made evident with the first discoveries of scrolls. The antiquity and importance of these manuscripts shocked scholars, who gained priceless insights into early Jewish thought and the historical background of the Bible from them. Researchers were quick to react in the scholarly community, eager to examine the scrolls and try to figure out what they meant. Theories about the scrolls' origins and use evolved as research continued. Others have proposed that early Christians or even Jewish rebels during the Roman siege may have concealed them, while still others have proposed that the Essenes were their creators. Various explanations have been advanced, adding gasoline to the enigma and sparking discussions that have not ended. By revealing hitherto unseen details about the religious life and ideas of ancient Judaism, the Dead Sea Scrolls have entirely altered our perspective on this faith. Included in these writings are descriptions of Jewish rites, rules for communal life, and readings of the Bible. As an example, the scrolls include rare biblical manuscripts that date back to a time before the first known copies of the Hebrew Bible. These manuscripts show differences in text and provide insight into how religious understanding developed. Academics now have a clearer picture of the ancient Jews' relationship with God and their sacred texts as a result of this. Beyond Judaism, the scrolls have far-reaching ramifications that affect how we view early Christianity. Many academics contend that the scrolls shed light on the practices and beliefs that preceded Christian thinking. Some have speculated that the early Christian doctrine and the Essenes' teaching shared a common cultural and theological environment, which has sparked debates on the contacts between the two faiths at a key historical juncture. As more information about the scrolls becomes available, new opinions among scholars are formed. The discourse remains lively and dynamic because researchers are always reevaluating views and finding texts that were previously missing. Understanding the complexity of ancient Judaism and its impact on succeeding religious traditions becomes clearer as we explore the scrolls further. This investigation of the Dead Sea Scrolls has taken us on a journey through their intriguing historical backdrop, the excitement surrounding their discovery, and the tremendous impact they have had on our understanding of ancient Judaism. Discovered in the Qumran caves and the subject of ongoing scholarly discussion, these ancient texts shed light on the values and customs of a formative period. They elucidate the complex web of Jewish life and early Christian history, shedding light on the mutual influence of the two religions. The scroll's importance in transforming our understanding of religious history, and as a resource for both researchers and fans, is immeasurable. There is an increasing sense of excitement and mystery around the scrolls as new discoveries and interpretations are being made public, which begs for more investigation. Subscribe to our channel for more interesting history and archaeology videos if you enjoyed this conversation. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with anybody you know who could be curious about the past. To go even further into the realm of old writings and their enduring influence on contemporary views, see our associated films. Our sincere appreciation for your company on this illuminating adventure. Insights into the values, customs, and way of life of long-vanished cultures can be uncovered through the process of deciphering ancient writings. Each of these distinct characters and languages provides a window into a different period of human history, from the elaborate hieroglyphs of Egypt to the complex cuneiform of Mesopotamia. Every manuscript and scroll is like a time capsule. They keep our ancestors' knowledge and experiences safe for the future. We find personal letters that give intimate glimpses into the lives of people and biblical manuscripts that have influenced religious ideas for millennia among the varied range of writings found. Love, strife, and ambition are timeless themes that are reflected in these writings, which also shed information on the social and cultural dynamics of their day. In light of their importance, it is imperative that we comprehend these historical texts. For starters, they provide light on the history of human civilization and its ups and downs, which is essential for understanding how to move forward. Second, they help us comprehend the nature of expression and communication better by encouraging a more nuanced respect for the many scripts and languages that have developed throughout history. The pursuit of understanding and knowledge is an eternal pursuit, and reading these writings helps us to connect with our common history. Discover the secrets hidden in ancient books with us as we explore their fascinating universe. A wealth of different scripts and languages preserved in ancient scrolls provide light on the civilizations who wrote them. Ancient Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek are three of the most prominent languages because of their widespread use in writings of all kinds, from historical records to religious scriptures. Because of its association with the Old Testament, Hebrew is a reflection of Jewish culture and religion. An important part of comprehending the New Testament setting is learning Aramaic, a language that rose to prominence during the Babylonian exile and acts as a link between many cultures. For the early Christians, Greek, and especially Koine Greek, was the common language of the Eastern Mediterranean. Rather than serving as simple means of communication, these languages capture the essence of their respective historical and cultural periods. An example of this would be the early Christians' adoption of Greek, which reveals the impact of Hellenistic culture, and the usage of Hebrew, which emphasizes the significance of faith and tradition. Understanding old scripts is critical for the present because it enables researchers to decipher the hidden meanings in ancient texts and make connections to current problems. We can learn more about the worldviews, social mores, and cultural institutions of bygone civilizations by delving into these languages. This deepens our understanding of the human tale. Insights into the daily lives, beliefs, and practices of ancient civilizations can be gleaned from the vast array of literature found in the ancient scrolls. Important foundational books like the Book of Isaiah are among the most important biblical manuscripts. This prophetic book represents the historical moment in which it was written, dealing with topics of redemption and hope in the midst of chaos. It is also religiously significant for Christians and Jews. Religious commentaries that provide insights and lessons relating to Scripture are also found on the scrolls with biblical text. Through these commentaries, academics are able to trace the development of religious thinking from antiquity to the present day. The Community Rule is another important book that describes the rules and regulations of a religious group, giving insight into the group's social life and spiritual rituals. You can't put a price on these texts' religious and historical importance. They shed light on the fundamental principles that govern society and impacted individual behavior across entire societies. Reading these varied texts helps us better understand the complexity of bygone civilizations and the impact they had on subsequent generations. A better understanding of the complex web of human history, and the universal search for purpose and community is made possible by each work that is considered here. There are a lot of obstacles that academics must overcome when trying to decipher old scrolls. The intricacies of the language and script offer a significant challenge. The Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek languages, each with its own dialects and subtleties, are represented in several of these writings. Furthermore, scholars must have an in-depth knowledge of the language and writing style in order to correctly interpret the content of the scripts, which might themselves vary greatly. Efforts to understand the scrolls are further complicated by their physical condition. Because of their age, exposure to the elements, or prior handling, many of these old documents are delicate and missing pieces or have been damaged. Because of the gaps in comprehension and the difficulty in precisely reconstructing the original language, this degradation can obfuscate important information. Further complicating matters are the continuing scholarly disputes over various interpretations and meanings. Interpretations of the author's intentions or the relevance of particular passages can vary according to various academic viewpoints. The inherently ambiguous nature of interpreting ancient writings is brought to light in these exchanges, which are crucial for expanding our knowledge. An ever-changing and vibrant field of research, the endeavor to completely understand the scrolls is ripe with opportunity for fresh insights and discoveries as scholars persist in tackling these issues. The complexity of human history can only be fully understood by deciphering the many writings and distinctive script discovered on old scrolls. Manuscripts of the Bible and personal letters from ancient peoples shed light on their worldviews and daily lives. Language complexities, scroll physical condition, and continuing scholarly disagreements are just a few of the obstacles that scholars face on the path to interpretation. When considering these historical texts and what they may tell us about our shared past, each of these considerations is crucial. Every new finding in the vast archive of ancient manuscripts not only adds to our understanding of the subject at hand, but also prompts fresh inquiries into the societies that were responsible for their creation. Maintaining this line of communication is crucial if we want to learn more about the past and how it affects us now. We welcome your continued engagement with our work if you have found this investigation of ancient scrolls fascinating. Support us by subscribing to our channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and telling your friends about it if they think they'd be interested in historical literature. When you donate, we can make more interesting videos that explore the secrets of the past. Embark with us on this exploration as we delve deeper into the stories that mold our perception of humanity. Discoveries made in the Qumran caves close to the Dead Sea between 1947 and 1956 include the Dead Sea Scrolls, a collection of ancient texts. These scrolls, which date from the 1st century CE to the 3rd century BCE, shed light on the cultural and historical milieu of the Second Temple era, when Judaism underwent a profound ideological and spiritual transition. The various interpretations of scripture and religious practices that existed during this era are reflected in these books, making their understanding essential for comprehending the intricacies of Jewish life and beliefs. Not only are the Dead Sea Scrolls historically significant, but they are also essential for understanding the early church. Scholars agree that these scrolls had an impact on Christian thought because of the teachings and beliefs they contained. We can learn more about the early Christian communities and their relationship with Judaism's doctrinal disputes by looking at the scrolls. Furthermore, historians and theologians alike still find new insights in the scrolls. The concept of messianism, the nature of prophecy, and the origins of biblical texts are all brought into question by these. By delving into the Dead Sea Scrolls, we may enhance our comprehension of history and contemplate how these ancient texts continue to influence modern religion and philosophy. The interesting Dead Sea Scrolls shed light on the everyday practices, rituals, and social structure of Second Temple Jewish society. Between 516 BCE and 70 CE, a diverse array of religious and cultural traditions emerged. The scrolls show how religious practices were integral to daily life, with prayers, Sabbath observance, and food regulations being the most important. Crucial to the development of Jewish identity and community was the practice of regular assemblies of the people for the sake of worship and study. Judaism at the time displayed a great deal of intellectual diversity, as seen by the scrolls' important beliefs and theological ideas. Some of the topics covered in the scrolls include the expected role of God in human events, the significance of the law, and the Messiah. From personal faith to group rituals and leadership, these ideas molded it all. Notable historical events that had a profound effect on Jewish identity and practice were the Maccabean Revolt and the Roman occupation. Amidst internal strife and outside influences, the scrolls portray a community that places a premium on innocence, obedience to the law, and the possibility of salvation. These writings shed light on the ways in which Jews maintained their faith in the face of persecution, which in turn shaped their religious and cultural legacies. It is the job of the Dead Sea Scrolls to shed light on the behaviors and beliefs of early Christianity. These ancient writings reveal a common religious landscape by comparing the teachings of the scrolls to those of early Christians. Considered examples of this continuity of thought that influenced early Christian groups include communal life, the significance of ceremonial purity, and the expectation of a future Messiah, all of which are echoed in the New Testament and the scrolls. This intellectual contact between Jews and Christians is reflected in the scrolls, which show how Jewish thought greatly impacted the development of Christian doctrine. It is easy to detect parallels between the scrolls' focus on the law, the prophecies' fulfillment, and eschatological themes and what Jesus taught and the apostles wrote. This link demonstrates that the early Christians were not independent thinkers but rather had strong ties to Jewish tradition, which they adapted and reinterpreted according to their own circumstances. Understanding the beginnings of Christianity is profoundly affected by exploring these links. It dispels the myth of a chasm between the two faiths and instead shows a more nuanced connection marked by mutual learning and growth. Research into the Dead Sea Scrolls sheds light on the theological journeys of early Christians, whose writings have enriched our understanding of the Christian and Jewish faiths. Scholars continue to argue over the meaning and relevance of the Dead Sea Scrolls, where they came from, and their connection to the Essenes. An ascetic Jewish sect famed for rigorous commitment to the law, the Essenes, are said by some scholars to have been the ones to create the scrolls. Alternatively, others have argued that the scrolls might have been written by a larger group of people, implying a more varied group of authors who represent different schools of Jewish thought. Attempts to trace the scrolls' provenance and their function in Jewish history have been fraught with difficulty, as this dispute shows. What the scrolls mean for theology and biblical texts is another contentious issue. There are differing opinions among scholars over whether the scrolls prove textual variants that cast doubt on conventional interpretations of the Hebrew Bible or not. Also, the theological ideas like eschatology and messianism that are mentioned in the scrolls make one wonder how much of an impact they had on the early Christians' beliefs and the evolution of Christian doctrine. For modern Jews and Christians, these arguments are crucial in comprehending the faith. Learn more about the historical setting of these faiths' development by delving into the scrolls and the competing interpretations of them. In the end, the continuing debates around the Dead Sea Scrolls deepen our understanding of religious identity and the intricate relationship between old tradition and creativity. See how the Dead Sea Scrolls have changed our understanding of early Christianity, Jewish life in the Second Temple, and the great arguments that have raged over these ancient writings ever since they were discovered in this movie. We spoke about how the scrolls show how early Christians drew on Jewish life and practice as well as their ideas and communal structures. In addition, we looked at the various theories about where the scrolls came from and what they mean for the Bible, highlighting how these debates have shaped our modern views of Judaism and Christianity. The importance of the Dead Sea Scrolls as a key to comprehending the religious history that has molded different faiths over ages cannot be emphasized enough. Our understanding of the intricacies of faith, individuality, and custom is enhanced via close reading of these books. Please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future inspiring and educational videos. Support this video by giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with anybody you think might enjoy learning more about the rich history of religion. Keep exploring our associated articles to learn more about the Dead Sea Scrolls and how they change the way we think about religion and culture. Your presence is much appreciated. The Dead Sea Scrolls, which provide a fascinating window into the ancient world, are among the most important archaeological finds of the 20th century. Scrolls containing the teachings, rituals, and daily life of the Essenes, a Jewish group, were found in the Qumran caves close to the Dead Sea between 1947 and 1956. The scrolls span the 3rd century BCE. These scrolls, which contain both canonical and non-canonical writings from the Jewish people at a critical period in their history, provide insight into the range of ideas that existed at that time. Prior knowledge of the Dead Sea Scrolls' historical setting is essential. Both political and theological forces were in a state of flux when they were written. This context allows us to see the scrolls for more than simply their antiquity. They also reflect the hopes and dreams of a people fighting to maintain their unique identity. Messages conveyed by the Dead Sea Scrolls have lasting impact on modern society. Both the significance of maintaining cultural legacy and the difficulty of interpreting religious texts are brought to light by these works. Read these old texts to find answers to modern-day concerns about religion, history, and the human condition. The Dead Sea Scrolls have had a profound effect on our perception of spirituality and history. Come explore with us as we unravel their secrets. Efforts to preserve these ancient manuscripts for future generations are an ongoing subject of study and preservation of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Climate control, which entails carefully controlling humidity and temperature levels to avoid degradation, is one of the main preservation approaches. If the scrolls are to be studied without further damage, conservationists must use specialized techniques to restore and stabilize delicate portions. The contribution of important institutions in this ongoing study is crucial. Scholars have been able to preserve numerous scrolls at the Israel Museum, which is also the location of the Shrine of the Book. The museum's researchers conduct analyses of the manuscripts in collaboration with academic institutions across the world, shedding light on their cultural and historical relevance. New tools have made analyzing the Dead Sea Scrolls a whole new ballgame. Thanks to multispectral imaging and other high-resolution imaging techniques, researchers can now decipher damaged or faded writings. Thanks to this technology, not only can the scrolls be deciphered, but digital archives can also be created, opening up the text to researchers all over the world. As we delve deeper into the Dead Sea Scrolls, these preservation efforts and technical advancements will keep the wisdom of these old texts alive and well, enhancing our comprehension of the past and present. There are many ways in which the teachings and practices of religion that emerge from the Dead Sea Scrolls have shaped modern society and faith. Many religious groups have found new interest in the biblical canon as a result of the scrolls' enhanced interpretations of biblical texts. By delving into these questions, we hope to inspire believers to examine their own understandings and practices, leading to a more sophisticated religion. Also, the scrolls are a link between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, which is vital for interfaith cooperation. All faiths can learn from one another's scrolls by focusing on commonalities in history and scripture. Cultural and religious conflicts are commonplace in today's society, making this conversation all the more important. The Dead Sea Scrolls have been the subject of several illuminating exhibitions this past year. The hands-on experience that events like Dead Sea Scrolls, Life and Faith in Ancient Times provide has drawn thousands of people to museums around the country. Exhibitions like these serve to teach people about the scrolls past and present while also highlighting how important they are to conversations about religion, identity, and tradition. Amidst the challenges of this modern era, the Dead Sea Scrolls serve as a poignant reminder of our common history and the never-ending pursuit of mutual understanding among religious and cultural groups. Everyone, no matter their background or circumstances, can find something of value in the timeless wisdom contained in the Dead Sea Scrolls. The stories of people and groups who have derived deep significance from these old writings are numerous. For example, many academics and clergy spoke about how the scrolls gave them a new perspective on faith, which in turn led to fresh readings of the Bible that address pressing modern concerns. People who care about history and education have also come together to protect and share the scrolls, which have become symbols of their legacy and cultural identity. One reason for their fascination is the way the Dead Sea Scrolls have been portrayed in literature and popular culture. The scrolls have gained more attention and interest thanks to documentaries, novels, and movies. Narratives like these frequently center on the enigma of their discovery and the never-ending struggle to decipher their mysteries, which in turn inspire many creative fields. Think about how the Dead Sea Scrolls have changed the world, and then think about how these ancient writings speak to you. The scrolls can be a springboard to a more profound comprehension of the human condition through individual study, group dialogue, or museum exploration. Inspiring us to seek understanding and community in our own lives, the scrolls make us reflect on our values in the past. Overall, the Dead Sea Scrolls are a testament to the extraordinary meeting point of faith, culture, and history that has lasting relevance even in this modern era. We've looked at the activities in study and preservation that are continuing to make sure these old books are available for years to come. An important part of this effort is the role that institutions like the Israel Museum play by employing state-of-the-art technology to decipher the scroll's meaning and meaning. To top it all off, we brought attention to the scroll's religious and cultural significance, pointing out how they encourage wonder and religious tolerance. Many people from all walks of life have been drawn to these ancient works because of how they have been portrayed in popular media. In addition to shedding light on the past, the scrolls prompt introspection about our personal views and how they relate to historical events. Here we wrap up our examination of the Dead Sea Scrolls, but we encourage you to delve even farther into their universe. An insatiable appetite for knowledge can yield unexpected rewards. Like, subscribing, and sharing this video will help us reach more people who are interested in learning about interesting subjects like this one. With your support, we can make more educational and inspirational content. Embark on this historical adventure with us, and we thank you for being here. Mysteries and intrigue surround the Dead Sea Scrolls, making them one of the most intriguing archaeological finds of the 20th century. The ancient texts, which were discovered in the rough cliffs surrounding the Dead Sea between 1947 and 1956, provide a rare window into the religious and cultural life of the 3rd century BCE. Written by members of a Jewish community, most likely the Essenes, who lived in the region, the more than 900 scrolls provide light on their beliefs and activities. Among them are biblical manuscripts and sectarian writings. We owe a great debt of gratitude to the Dead Sea Scrolls for completely rewriting our perception of the Hebrew Bible and the origins of Judaism and Christianity. Even still, many concerns have not been resolved despite extensive research spanning decades. Tell me who penned these scrolls. What did they intend to achieve? How did they end themselves in such a secluded spot? Viewers and researchers alike are fascinated by the Dead Sea Scrolls, yet many questions remain unsolved about them. In this video, we will investigate some of these mysteries, help us decipher these old writings, and see how they illuminate our faith in the past. There are numerous mysteries about the Dead Sea Scrolls that have yet to be answered, and this has kept them at the center of ongoing intrigue and controversy. Unraveling the writers' identities is a top priority. Scholars are divided over who wrote the scrolls. Some point to the Essenes, an austere Jewish sect, while others suspect other groups or perhaps early Christians. The variety of opinions held by ancient Jews is intriguingly called into question by this ambiguity. The reason for the secrecy of these scrolls' hiding place in the caverns close to the Dead Sea is another crucial mystery. Were they hidden to evade attack, or did they have a deeper function in an underground society? There are many hypotheses, but no accepted solutions. Consider the consequences of these questions that remain unsolved as we delve into these enigmas. Can we learn anything from them regarding the ancient world's complicated religious, personal, and communal dynamics? Besides adding to our historical knowledge, the search for meaning in the Dead Sea Scrolls compels us to contemplate the everlasting power of belief and the narratives that mold our modern world. The ongoing archaeological investigation into the Dead Sea Scrolls is only beginning. New findings are shedding light on this long-lived enigma. Recent years have seen an influx of researchers returning to the Qumran site in quest of more scrolls, as well as uncharted caverns and other sites. The life of the ancient inhabitants of this area can be better understood thanks to the objects and fragments unearthed during these digs. The use of modern technologies is essential to these continuing investigations. Scientists can examine the scrolls without damaging them thanks to modern imaging technology like 3D scanning and multispectral imaging. The use of these technologies has allowed for the discovery of previously unintelligible texts and details, which has greatly enhanced our comprehension of the scroll's content and context. No amount of emphasis can be placed on the significance of these archaeological investigations. Research into the Dead Sea Scrolls is helping scholars fill in the gaps in our understanding of the society that composed them by shedding light on their lifestyle, customs, and surroundings. Delving further into these age-old writings and their provenance brings us one step closer to solving the riddles that have fascinated researchers and fans for years. For a better grasp of biblical literature and ancient writings, textual analyses of the Dead Sea Scrolls are crucial, providing new light on these seminal books. The scrolls comprise some of the earliest Hebrew Bible manuscripts that have ever been discovered, and their finding has given researchers a rare chance to compare these writings with later copies. This comparison has sparked conversations regarding the development of biblical texts across time by revealing differences in language, structure, and interpretation. New textual analysis have uncovered important truths, like hidden biblical verses and sectarian writings that shed light on the community's ideas from whence the scrolls were made. One example is the discovery of writings that reveal early interpretations of Scripture, which has helped researchers understand the theological disputes that occurred during that period. As we proceed with these academic pursuits, it is crucial to acknowledge the careful effort being put into this area. Accompanying the decipherment of ancient languages, researchers are also attempting to reconstruct the historical and cultural milieus from which these writings emerged. Through interacting with the results of textual research, viewers can develop a more profound respect for the intricacies of old texts and the continuous pursuit of understanding our common human history. By impacting both contemporary religious ideas and historical accounts, the Dead Sea Scrolls have had a significant impact on how we perceive the past and how we comprehend culture. In these old writings, we can see how the Jewish people lived their lives throughout the Second Temple era, a time of great political and theological turmoil. Scholars have learned about the diversity of Judaism's thinking by poring over the scrolls, which show how different sects perceived the Bible and interacted with the world. For a full appreciation of the Second Temple era's cultural milieu, the scrolls are equally indispensable. The conflicts between various Jewish factions, such as the Pharisees, Sadducees, and early Christians, are brought to light by these sources, which enhance the story of that time. Important theological ideas that have endured to the present day may only be understood in this light. By considering these old writings in light of their wider significance, we see that the Dead Sea Scrolls are more than artifacts from antiquity. They are contemporary records that urge us to question long-held assumptions about religion, individuality, and society. Visitors are invited to go into the content and discover how these scrolls impact our perception of history and the intricacies of human belief systems. This film takes viewers on a riveting tour into the fascinating world of the Dead Sea Scrolls, revealing their origins and purpose. We looked at the textual analyses that give us a better grasp of the Bible and ancient literature, as well as the archaeological investigations that keep turning up fresh findings. These ancient scrolls not only shed light on the Second Temple period Jewish worldview, but they also invite us to consider how these views have shaped our contemporary understanding of religion and history. With that, we hope you'll continue to think about and discuss this intriguing subject. Thank you for watching our Dead Sea Scrolls investigation video. We would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share it with anybody you think would enjoy it. With your help, we can produce more in-depth pieces about culture, history, and archaeology. In addition, you may discover more in-depth talks and analyses on relevant issues on our website or channel, so we encourage you to check them out. As a community, let us not rest until we understand our history and are able to fully grasp its intricate fabric. Hope to see you in our next video. We appreciate you taking the time to watch.